Want to learn how I create animation cycles in the program Rough Animator? Well, stick around because that's what we'll be learning in today's video. Let's talk about animation cycles, also known as loops. Why are they important? Cycles are important because they're time savers. You can animate something once and have it repeat as many times as you want. A cycle can make a few drawings fill up seconds or even minutes of animation. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. So the first example I want to take a look at is this turkey jumping back and forth. So this is actually an example of a cycle of just 8 drawings going back and forth. And I can have him jumping like that forever. So with just a few drawings, you can have something animating indefinitely if you just know how to use the cycle feature in Rough Animator. So let's take a look at what we're going to do right now. I'm going to take this word cycle and we're basically going to turn it into this animated jiggle text animation. And I did this one with only 3 drawings. So I'm going to show you the process to make your own cycle. So let's go ahead and open up Rough Animator. Create a new project at 30 frames at 1080p is fine. Let's check out our canvas. We want to import that image that I had previously made, which is, you could have it say your own name or whatever you want. And we'll just click one time to place it on the canvas. Now I'm going to go ahead and just name this cycle real fast. And I'm going to bring the opacity down. And what I want to do is I want to make this hold for 3 frames. And you'll see why in a second. So now we want to add an empty layer. And I'm going to call this animation. And I need this to be 3 separate frames. So we're going to add drawing, add after. We're going to do that one more time. So now we've got 3 individual frames on top of the cycle. And this is what we're going to use to trace. So I'm just going to zoom in. And I'm going to switch to my brush tool. Pick a good brush size. And now I'm going to switch to my pen here. And I'm just going to trace the word cycle. And I'm going to do this as fast as I can. There's really no reason that you need to worry about this being perfect, because the idea is, for this effect, you want each individual frame to look different than the previous one. So there's one. Let's go to the second frame, and I will do my second drawing here. And this technique, you can try it with a ball bouncing or a different word. Basically, I just want to show you the trick within Rough Animator of how to make a cycle, because it actually took me a little time to figure this out. So let me just draw my final frame here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want each frame to hold for 3 frames. And the reason I'm adding these extra frames is for style, basically. It's going to not vibrate as fast if I had it on the 1s or the 2s. So now I've got it on the 3s. I'm going to go and hide this style layer, turn the opacity off on that. We don't need that layer anymore. Now here's the trick. You want to select the final frame or drawing of your layer, and then you want to add a drawing after. Now you've got a blank drawing here. And this is the trick. Now you hit Make Cycle. And you'll see that this becomes a green cycle that's mimicking the frames that came before it, and it's outlining in green the frames that it's cycling. So over here in the tool options, you can see it switched to cycle now. And it's showing you it's repeating the previous 3 drawings. So if I were to change that to 2, now it's only grabbing the previous 2 drawings. So let's pull that back to 3. And now the trick is I want to add some frames to this so we can see a full cycle. So there's our first full cycle. If I add more frames, there's our second full cycle. So this is repeating 3 times already in just 27 frames, which is just shy of a second. So if I wanted this to repeat for, say, 10 seconds, do some math, quick math here. 10 times 30 frames a second is 300. And 300 minus this initial 9 frames would be 291. So if I type that in there, you can see if I pull back on my timeline horizontal zoom, you can see now I've got 10 seconds of animation looping or cycling here with our original 3 drawings. So I took 3 drawings basically and made 10 seconds of video or animation. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick. Just hit play. It's going to render that. And there's our squiggly, jittery text. So you can have fun with that, but basically remember to, when we're in here, zoomed in, remember that we needed to add that extra drawing and then be on that extra empty drawing and then click the make cycle. That's the big trick. So now I could go here and I could export it as a QuickTime or whatever I wanted, and you have your file to bring into your video editor. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can make some use of that in Rough Animator using the make cycle button and feature. If you found this video helpful, you might like some of my animation classes over at Skillshare. I've got 10 classes up right now, and I've got more on the way. Sign up and get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium with this link. This has been Patrick Davidson, the Expat Animator. See you next time.